For the public school boys, football was a pastime, not a sport. As a consequence, the game lacked continuity, passion, drama. Football needed a visionary, someone who could take its essence and mould it into something irresistible.
Charles Alcock is one of the most influential men in the start of football, was a boy at Harrow. Indeed, he was a boy at Drury's House, one of the houses playing here today. And when he left Harrow, he was instrumental in organising the Football Association. And he actually invented and started the FA Cup, which is based on the inter-house Harrow football.
First played in 1871, the FA Cup is the world's oldest football tournament.
The importance of the FA Cup is pretty clear. What it does is establish the really key element of competition and knockout nature of that competition as a way forward for football. And indeed, what happens in the World Cup now, what happens in the European League now, what happens in any number of worldwide and regional competitions. It's the knockout competitions that really catch the eye and draw the crowds.
The success of the FA Cup persuaded Charles Alcock to arrange the first ever international match. On St Andrew's Day 1872, 4,000 people gathered to watch the home side, Scotland, take on England. With no previous example to draw on, the match proved somewhat makeshift.
How did you know how to dress up for a game? It was the first international game. So the English players, they had white shirts with the 3 rampant lions on, but that was it. They played in the colours of the schools that they had played for. So we have knowledge that some players were Old Etonians, some players were Old Harrovians, and they were playing in red or red and white, because of course in those days it hadn't occurred to people that if you all wore the same strip, it made identification on the field easier. Although I will say that even at that game, the English wore caps, the Scots wore cowls, the sort of hood you would get on an anorak, because it hadn't occurred to either team that heading the ball was a useful thing to do in football.
England began the match with 8 attackers and dribbled with the ball. Scotland fielded 6 forwards and passed the ball between themselves. A revolutionary tactic which would have a profound impact on world football.
It's not important because it was the first game, because that's a statistical freak. It's important because you had 2 cultures clashing in the one game, and the dominant culture, the successful culture, the Scottish passing and running culture, being taken back through those English players. And that is why that game is the most important game ever played in the history of world football.